All right. Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bradley Gottschall, and I am the Township Manager for Lower Paxton. And in typical fashion, I'm going to give a brief summary of this evening's agenda, particularly for the benefit of those who may be watching at home on television. So this is a business session of the Board of Supervisors. The agenda is rather filled with a number of items to include, under new business, action to adopt Resolution 2023-24, which authorizes the intermunicipal transfer of a liquor license out of the city of Harrisburg. After this, the board will take action to approve an emergency medical services agreement with South Central Emergency Medical Services. Following that, the board will take action to adopt application for payment number 1, following also payment number 1 and 2, both of which are in reference to parks improvements projects. Following that, the board will take action on a number of subdivision and land development items to include action on a preliminary final land development and subdivision plan for Aldi, which will be in Blue Ridge Village. Following that, action on a waiver request of land development within the Amesbury development. Then finally, under subdivision and land development, taken action on improvement guarantees. Following that, finally, the board will take action on the payment of township and authority bills, hear any final announcements, and then finally, take a motion to adjourn. With all that said, members of the board are seated and prepared to conduct business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gottschall. We'll call this meeting of the Lower Paxton Board of Supervisors to order. We'd like to ask everyone to please stand, and Supervisor Navarro will lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This brings us to approval of minutes from the September 5th, 2023 budget workshop session and business meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, we are going to proceed to public comment. Before we do, the Board of Supervisors met in our final budget session prior to this meeting and had a comprehensive budget overview presented by our Assistant Township Manager, and very pleased to say that our finances are in great shape and no need for any tax hikes of any sort in 2024.
Those are public meetings, of course. It just so
What's that?
happens. It was a public meeting.
It was a public meeting. All the budget meetings were open to the public. Not a lot of public showed up, but all the budget documents will, of course, be put on our website and available for public view here shortly. So there will be full transparency of all budget items. I'm a bottom line person, so no tax hike is sort of the bottom line for me. But with that, we're going to proceed into public comment. Public comment is for any item not on the agenda. If you're here to participate in an item that is on the agenda, you can make comment at that time. So would anybody like to address the board on an item not on the agenda tonight? Okay. Seeing none, chairman and board member comments. Board members, do we have any comments?
Sure. Mr. Zumas and I attended the council government meeting last night. We had two speakers, one on solar, and then we had two people from the South Central Food Bank. This is a busy week for the board. We had budget tonight. We have our meeting tonight. Friday at 9 o'clock, we will be doing a ribbon cutting at Lingle Park for the cricket courts, and then at 10 o'clock we'll be doing a ribbon cutting at the Oak Park Trail, which is off of our Oak Park Road. So we're busy this week. We just don't sit here on Tuesday nights. We are out and about in the community.
Anybody else comments? Seeing none, manager comments, manager's report.
No, sir, I have no report this evening.
Excellent report.
Thank you, sir.
Moving now to, we have no old business. We'll move now to new business where we have a lengthy agenda. First of all, we have to take action to adopt Resolution 2023-24, authorizing the intermunicipal transfer of a restaurant liquor license, R9453, from the city of Harrisburg to Freshito at Blue Ridge Village. And this would take the form of a public hearing, correct? Typically, Mr. Stein would conduct those public hearings. In his absence, I'm not an attorney, nor did I sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, but I will attempt to conduct the hearing. So we will call to order the hearing on Resolution 2023-24. Mrs. Zerby, would you like to do a setup for us?
This is the public hearing for Resolution 2324. If the resolution is adopted, it will allow the liquor license R9453 issued to Freshito, Inc. from the city of Harrisburg to Lower Paxton Township for a restaurant to be operated in Blue Ridge Village.
Okay. Would anybody here like to address the issue? Yes, sir. Please give us your name and who you're representing. Also, I know we've seen you before, and the last time you were here, you did a very thorough explanation of the history of all this, so we could sort of fast forward through that this time because
Okay.
we were aware of it. So if you would pick up from there.
I'll try and do that.
Your name again, sir?
Attorney Steve Nicholas. I represent my clients who are right here with me. I first wish to thank Township Manager Bradley Gottschall and his staff, especially Mrs. Zerby, for the courtesies that are always extended to anyone who visits Lower Paxton Township. And I'd also like to thank your solicitor, Attorney Stein, and his staff for all their prompt responses to any inquiries thrown their way at any time. Freshito Lingelstown Inc. is owned by Xang Yu and Hokbong Chong. I am pleased to advise that both of my clients were born in China and have taken the effort to study and pass the tests required to become citizens of the United States.
Great.
Mr. Chan was naturalized in 2004 and Mr. Yu in 2013. The new restaurant will be located in the strip mall at the Blue Ridge Village, which is set back just off of Lingelstown Road. The purpose of our appearance this evening, is to request your approval to move liquor license R9453 from 1313 North 2nd Street in the city of Harrisburg to 2017 E.G. Drive, Suite 500, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, in the township. I have appeared before you on similar matters. This request is made pursuant to Pennsylvania Act 141, signed into law on December 20, 2000, and which took effect on February 19, 2001. Act 141 amended the Pennsylvania Liquor Code and dramatically changed the license quota system from a municipal-oriented quota system to a county-wide quota system. Prior to this amendment, with few exceptions, a license could only be used within the boundaries of the municipality to which it was originally issued. The current law also permits the transfer of a license from one municipality to another in the same county, but first requires permission of the receiving municipality. If the intermunicipal transfer request is approved by the township tonight and then approved by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, this license cannot be moved out of Lower Paxton Township for a period of 5 years from the time the restaurant is open and in operation. When first enacted, the Liquor Code permitted the issue of one license for every 1,000 inhabitants. Later, it became one license for every 2,000 inhabitants. Today, the quota is 1,000 for every 3,000 inhabitants of each county rather than each municipality. However, each amendment grandfathered existing license that counted against the quota. In Dauphin County and in most counties, a quota system means no new license is available for purchase from the Liquor Control Board. You must acquire a license from an existing owner, and that requires Liquor Board approval. Act 141 is designed to help and stimulate economic growth in the tax base by encouraging investment in our local municipalities. The application for approval of an intermunicipal transfer under Act 141 is a two-step process, and our appearance before you this evening, is the first step of that approval. If the township approves the intermunicipal transfer of the liquor license to the township, the second step is our transfer application to be filed with the Liquor Control Board. At the commencement of the second step, a poster such as this is posted and remains posted during the entire licensing period. The license area must meet and comply with requirements as described in the Liquor Code. Those requirements include an area of at least 400 square feet, seating 30 patrons at any given time. The 400 square feet includes the patron servant areas, kitchen, storage, and office areas. This establishment will far exceed those requirements. I've passed out in front of you a copy of the proposed layout of the restaurant, and this will get us to the second step, Anyone involved with the ownership of the licensed business must pass a thorough police background transfer and must have the financial ability to conduct their intended business. My clients have both passed this test on several occasions. One at 5125 Jonestown Road, Harrisburg, and one in Derry Township at 1715 East Chocolate Avenue, Hershey. I am pleased to advise that my clients have incurred no violations under those two licenses in which they are part of. During the process before the PLCB, interested parties can file objections with the Liquor Board and get a full-blown hearing of any concerns that they may have. Every licensed business must have a full-time on-site manager. That individual will be a full-time, hands-on manager and will be there to ensure that this business is operated properly and in accordance with the law. Sang Ji Yang shall be our manager. He was also born in China and is also a United States citizen. Subsequent enforcement of the business, once it's opened, it's very stringent, and there's a special Bureau of Liquor Control Enforcement, which is part of the Pennsylvania State Police, that has as its sole purpose to ensure that the licensed establishment is operated in a proper and lawful manner. By law, the Bureau is required to investigate all complaints received. My 57-plus years of experience in liquor law tells me that a good number of anonymous complaints are called in by a disgruntled patron who was refused service for any number of reasons. Many complaints turn out to be unfounded. However, the Bureau must still investigate them and dispose of them. This restaurant shall not be a place conducive to join patrons who wish to sit and drink for hours. This shall be a non-smoking establishment. This shall also be a family-friendly restaurant where children are welcome. Mistakes under the Liquor Code are expensive. The minimum fine for such a violation is $1,000 that judges have overlooked a long time ago, and this mistakes of serving a person under the age of 21 begins with a fine of $1,750. Multiple violations will result in the revocation of the license and total loss of your investment. The RAMP program is the Responsible Alcohol Management Program, and the training is a two-core training program consisting of one, the owner-manager training, and number two, server-seller training. All employees involved with the sale of alcohol must be RAMP certified by the Liquor Control Board. These training programs must be completed every 2 years by everyone involved with the service of alcohol. RAMP used to be a volunteer program, but now it is a requirement pursuant to Section 4-4711 of the Liquor Code. I encourage the use of surveillance cameras. Operation of the business shall be enhanced by both interior and exterior surveillance cameras. Upon approval of the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, this license cannot be moved out of the township for a period of 5 years. My client intends to be here to stay and assures you that this business will operate under the strict confines of the law. As a member of the Board of Supervisors, I would be encouraged to support an applicant who desires to invest their own money in my local community. The purchase of a liquor license requires a large financial investment, and my clients have no intention of risking the loss of their investment. Thank you for your time and patience. May we answer any questions?
Yeah, I'm pleased in the future, since we've sat through that now
Yeah.
several times, if you would submit that in writing into the record so we don't have to verbalize it again. Do we have any questions here?
Just a statement. Colonel, you've always been very thorough and very, very detailed, and I'm glad to say nothing's changed.
Nothing. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions or comments?
So, I just have one question.
Okay.
So, you said there's another liquor license at 5125, so you can own two liquor licenses
Oh, yes.
in one township?
You can,
Okay.
but a restaurant liquor license, you can own multiple licenses. A beer distributor license, you can only have an interest in one license.
Okay, so you can have as many as you want, like
Yes.
say in Lower Paxton
Yes.
Township? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Would any member of the public like to ask question or make comments? Would any member of the public like to ask questions or make comments? Okay, seeing none, then we'll move to close the hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That then puts before us Resolution 2023-24, authorizing the intermunicipal transfer of the liquor license R-9453. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve action to adopt Resolution 2023-24, authorizing the intermunicipal transfer of restaurant liquor license R-9453 from the City of Harrisburg to Freshita at Blue Ridge Village, 2017 E.G. Drive.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve? All in favor signify, there is a motion to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay, unanimously approved. Congratulations and welcome to Lower Paxton Township.
Can I just ask, what are your hours of operation going to be?
Around 11 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night.
Okay. And what kind of food do you serve?
We're planning to do Pan Asian, so it'll be a variety of Chinese, Thai, Japanese.
Okay. Hibachi?
No hibachi.
No hibachi,
We already
okay.
have one.
Okay.
We'll look forward to that.
So it's different than the Freshito and Hershey, the one that you have there.
Yes, essentially, this will be a second concept that Freshito is growing to. So we've been planning this for years and then just come in. So,
Very good.
this is what we originally planned.
Nice. Well, good luck.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we need to take action to approve an emergency medical services agreement with South Central Emergency Medical Services. Mr. Godshall.
Yes, sir, members of the board, this action item is fairly straightforward. You've been doing it for years. This update to the agreement is for a term of 1 year and for a fee of $100,000. And I do see Chief Campbell in the audience, so if the board has any questions or anything, I'm sure he'd be happy to help address those concerns.
I don't have a question, but I want to thank you for all that you've done for South Central and taking care of our residents in Lower Paxton Township. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Any other board members have questions or comments? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the emergency medical services agreement?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Thank you. We need to take action to approve application for payment number 1 from SLC Excavating LLC for the Forest Hills Park Improvement Projects. I believe that information was in everybody's packet and is also up on the board. So any comments or questions about that? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve application for payment number 1 from SLC Excavating LLC?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
We need to take action to approve applications for payment numbers 1 and 2 from Rogel Inc. for the Brightville Park Playground improvements. Much happening over there. I think everybody's familiar with that. Any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve application for payments number 1 and 2 from Rogel Inc.?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. And I believe that brings us to subdivision and land development, wherein we need to take action to approve a preliminary and final land development and subdivision plan for Aldi Inc. at Blue Ridge Village, plan number 2318. And Mrs. Zerby, do we have anything to explain about that?
Sure. This is for the Aldi Inc. It proposes to construct a 20,664 square foot Aldi food market at Lot 8 in Blue Ridge Village. Lot 8 is identified as parcel 35009214, and it's located at Alexandria Lane and EG Drive and encompasses a total area of 5.023 acres. Further improvements such as landscaping, lighting, utilities, stormwater, infrastructure, and a future expansion area of 1,904 square feet are shown on the plan. Additionally, the proposed Aldi plan includes a subdivision of Lot 8 into 2 new lots. Lot A, which will consist of the proposed Aldi food market, and will have a proposed area of 3.2 acres, and Lot B will contain 1.823 acres. The site is located in the Residential Retirement Development Zoning District and will be served by public sewer and water. The plan was approved at the September 6, 2023 Planning Commission meeting. There are 3 waiver requests, which staff supports. There are 4 administrative comments and 4 general comments to be satisfied before recording. And the engineering firm is here if the board has any questions.
If you would like to come to the podium, and if you have anything to add, give us your name and address and the comments you may wish to make.
Certainly. Josh Seawald from Dynamic Engineering Consultants, 1904 Main Street, Lake Como. Overhill, just here to answer any questions you may have about Aldi, its operations, and the site plan that we provided before you.
Board members, any questions?
Yeah, Lot B will contain 1.823 acres. Do you know what you're going to do with that?
We don't. It's going to be left as a vacant pad, and that will be for the overall landlord and developer of the entire tract. Aldi, who is represented here this evening, is just focused on their 3-ish acres for their grocery store.
Okay. Is it going to be as big as the one on 22? I'm not real good at judging.
It'll probably be similar in size, but this is their brand new prototype. It's about 20,000 square feet.
Okay.
Every new store that's going on throughout Pennsylvania will be this prototype that's here.
Okay. So now the big question, are you keeping the one on Jonestown Road or if? Okay, okay.
Any other questions?
Still need a quarter to get a shopping cart?
Yes.
What's the philosophy behind that?
Keep shopping carts out of the parking area. Additionally, Aldi is not a regular grocery store that has delis, bakeries, and other items. So there are 10 to 15 employees that run the entire store, truly run the store. The truck comes, brings the pallet off the back, goes into the cold storage refrigerators. They pack the aisles, and they also do the front cashier. So to keep the pricing down, you have to keep the employees fully efficient for the entire store. So instead of having multiple people in the parking lot just chasing after carts, put a cord in it, someone brings it back to the cart corral. It's just the way that they function and try to keep it as efficient as possible.
Apparently, it must work.
It does.
Any public questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Minsker.
Bill Minsker, Liggelstown. A fire company question. Do we know if the building's sprinklered?
It is fully sprinkled, sir.
Great, great, great.
Well, you made the public very happy. So, if there are no other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the preliminary and final land development plan and subdivision for Aldi Inc.?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve action on a preliminary final land development and subdivision plan for Aldi Inc., Pennsylvania at Blue Ridge Village, plan number 23-18.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
There we go.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Welcome to Lower Paxton, again.
I was going to say again. It was like they were
Again.
here. Yeah.
Okay, we now need to take action to approve a waiver request of land development for Building 2 of the Amesbury development. This is Plan 0529. Mrs. Serby.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give you a little background here for Amesbury. It was developed and the plan was approved in 2007 for 106 townhomes. Due to economic recession in the years after the plan was approved, construction was slow on the development and only buildings 1, 3, 4, 5, 14, 15, and 16 were constructed. Building 2 was not constructed. The plan has expired and is no longer valid. Therefore, construction of the last remaining building, building number 2, would require a land development plan. The requirements of the ordinance would require the entire property to be resurveyed, a new wetland delineation study to be performed, and an updated stormwater management plan done. The cost to have the requirements of the ordinance satisfied by requiring such studies that were completed with the original plan would be too costly to construct building number 2. Building number 2 has already been planned for in sewer planning modules, and the utilities and public amenities have already been extended for building 2 with the construction of the development. The only construction that remains would be the building and driveways for the units. Therefore, the applicant is requesting a waiver of the subdivision and land development ordinance to allow building number 2 to proceed with the building permit. Staff supports this waiver request as the required infrastructure has been installed and planned for building number 2. The applicant will still be required to submit a zoning permit, building permit, and receive approval from Dauphin County Conservation District. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the waiver request at the September 6, 2023 meeting. And there are representatives for that plan here this evening if you would like to hear from them.
Gentlemen, would you like to add to that? If so, please come to the podium, give us your names, company.
Mitch Kemp, SLD Planning Consulting, and with us is our client Chuck Heller. As far as anything to add, Amanda did such a fine job. I really don't have much to add to it. But short version, our client, he's looking to just put this building up. As far as the future phases of Amesbury, that's not tied to construction of this individual building. They're looking to just essentially fill in the little block that was previously planned for on the 2007 plan.
Okay. Board members, questions?
So that's just an extension of what's there now. That's not going to be behind it
That's
then?
exactly correct.
Okay.
Like if you're driving back to the Friendship Center, there's
Right.
one empty spot. That one.
Okay. The same concept as what's there now?
Exactly, yes.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? Any public questions or comments? Okay. Seeing,
Just a curiosity question. How long is that period before it expires? 5 years. Is it 5?
Okay, we do need to take action to approve the waiver request for building number 2 of Amesbury. This is Plan 0529. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve a waiver request for land development for Building 2 of Amesbury Development, Plan 05-29.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Here you go, gentlemen.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck. That does bring us to the improvement guarantees. And only 2. Any questions, comments? Is there a motion to approve the improvement guarantees?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Judd has motioned. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
This takes us to the payment of bills for Lower Paxton Township and the Lower Paxton Township Authority. Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion that we pay the bills for Lower Paxton Township and the Lower Paxton Township Authority.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Any additional announcements for the good of the order? Our next board meeting will be on Wednesday, November 8th. Typically, when we have Election Day in the spring and the fall, we meet on Wednesday rather than election night. So our next meeting, Wednesday, November 8th, 2023 at 7 p.m. here in this room. Is there now a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.